Okay, so this is a follow-up to yesterday's video. We made the drum lesson template note in the Planet Drum notebook, and I also made another note with the link to the video on how to make the notebook and the note. So that's pretty meta. Now, basically, today I'm going to show you how I use the drum lesson template with the students. So first student is James, and I'm going to go down to the lesson 1 from term 4 last year. So you can see that Evernote nicely keeps everything in the column week by week, every note as you go. And this is just an example of the content that I would put into each lesson template. So the screenshots are of logic, and I always put a note and some tips at the end of each lesson so they know what to work on. And there's some other links from previous lessons down there. I always try to, it not only helps the student, but it also helps myself if I have notes on what it is exactly that we're doing. You can also see that we have annotation options for the screenshots. So I'm not a very neat writer, but you could also take photos of your own notation, but I take screenshots of logic, and I can do further tutorials. This is just demonstrating that particular lesson was 1 hour, so it was 2 lessons together. And again, down the bottom I've got some teacher comments and tips, and also some other links to various videos. So that's a little example of James, and the last lesson that we did was I finished a transcription of the whole song that he'd been working on, which happened to be Bon Jovi, You Give Love a Bad Name. Every lesson, or every note in Evernote can be printed. So if they do want to have a hard physical copy, then they can do that. I just try to go paperless with my lessons. Here's another example with Ryan. Again, there's some notation in there on the notes, and that's just using the annotation. And here's another student who was working on a different song, but the same thing. It's just I've fleshed out the template for each person. So now what I did was I shared this drum lesson template note with Mirko. This isn't his actual email, and it's just saying, what we did that lesson. So here is the Planet Drum notebook with the, I think that's a typo. It should be with the or and. But anyway, so with the drum lesson template, and that can be shared and used. You just have to download Evernote and install it on your computer or any device. It works with iPads, like any tablets, and it works on your phone as well. I have it on my phone, which is just an iPhone, and then you can share and edit with like any future notes that you create. So there's some sharing options. You can share it directly to like LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. And one of the main features that I use is up the top. It says can edit and invite. With my students, I have it just on edit. And in this example with Mirko, we're going to be editing and inviting, so he can invite the other teachers to see these tutorials and videos, and yeah, that wraps up this tutorial, but there's also going to be some examples of how I use it in lessons coming up with the screen.